Hey, this is Brant with Vintage Statements, and today we've got this nice bedroom set. Well, gonna be nice bedroom set. So follow along as we redo it. Alright, it looks pretty bad, but the structure's pretty good on it. So what we're gonna have to do, remove the hardware, pull the drawers out, check the subframe, make sure everything's nice and smooth there. As you can see, the top of this, and even a little bit on this one, looks like they did some real work to it. So we're gonna be sanding out all those imperfections and damage that's been caused. From that point, we'll probably stain the top, paint the base, and well, we've got a lot of work ahead of us. So let's get the hardware off, and then we can start working through the process of getting this piece to look pretty cool at the end. Alright, there's a lot to take in. We got all the hardware off. The subframes look good. There's a couple drawers that we're going to re-glue. The dovetails are a little bit loose. I want to get those solid, but we'll do that after the sanding, and we can let that set overnight. So what I'm going to do now is sand everything down. Looks like a pretty intense, heavy-duty project. It's going to take a lot of time. Actually shouldn't take too long for the volume we have here. We've got our DeWalt sander, 80 grit sandpaper, and we're going to just scuff sand everything, which means I'm just trying to get that first layer off, get everything smooth as possible, so the paint will adhere at the best, give it little grooves and stuff like that. Now, before I start sanding, I'm going to take the camera off the tripod. I'm going to just scan through all of everything that we have here to kind of show you the tops of things, and then we'll do that post sanding, so you can kind of see where we're at after I've vacuumed it off and cleaned it, so you can kind of see the difference here of this project. So quickly done, should take about a minute each drawer. Frame should take a couple minutes. Well, it's still going to add up some time, but not too long. So let's get started by doing a little zoom over everything, and then we'll start sanding. Here it is after sanding. You can tell quite the difference on the top here of how much we had to take off. Now this is going to be a darker color. I think it's going to be robin's egg. Now, if you were going to paint this all white, there's one risk to doing the sanding this way and getting it really scuffed out. As you can see in a lot of places like this, there's multiple colors, dark brown to the light wood color. Now, if you get a cheaper white paint, it's gonna bleed through. You're gonna see the difference in the texture, the color between these two. So you're gonna have to either add more layers of paint, not the best idea, or do a nice thick primer, then paint it the white. It's up to you, but that's something to kind of think about with the lighter color. With a darker color, that KSX or KSL, the toner that they put in with the darker colors is going to go over this really nice. You won't even see the difference in color there. So that's why when we sand this way, to give it a nice scuff, to get rid of a lot of that, we go with a darker color than a lighter color. So next, we're going to let these pieces dry overnight, and then we can start painting. Alright, so everything's been sanded, vacuumed out, wiped down, and now we can start the process, the real process of transforming these pieces. Now, I've wiped it all off, that's really key here, and, well, getting good supplies. So I got my nice little Worcester 2.5-inch angle brush, love these things. Got our paint here, Behr primer paint, Eggshell finish. It's called Very Navy. Now this quart can here is going to do all this plus have some leftovers. So if you're thinking about how much paint you're going to need, well, really, you do a good job, all you're going to need is one quart, and you can do all this plus leftovers. And well, Very Navy is a really popular color, so this set should sell really well, and it covers really nicely. So we're going to do 2 coats. I'm going to vintage it, give it a nice little scuff up at the end, but I'm going to start with all the drawers. I'm going to keep them separated per piece. So the tall boy, the nightstand, and the dresser here, I'll just set them out, keep them all organized, paint, 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 then we'll start working on the frames. So here we go. Alright, we're done painting, finally, right? So now what we're going to do, you can skip this step if you like, but we're going to sand everything down, give it a vintage farm style look. If you want a solid piece, well, skip this and go into sealing your piece and putting your hardware back on. But we're going to spend the next 30 minutes probably sanding all this down. I'm using my DeWalt sander. I'm actually using the same grit, same paper, the 80 grit that I used to start, but this is all worn down from us sanding this piece down. So let's get to work, don't overdo it. Hand sanding's just as easy, so let's get started. Alright, wiped it down after we scuffed it up, gave it that farm style look. Now we're going to apply is just a finishing wax. It's natural by Behr, get it at Home Depot. So we're going to run over this whole entire piece and then we can start putting hardware on. Alright, here it is completed. Navy blue. We did 2 coats, we scuffed it, gave it that nice vintage farm style look, and well, the end result, it's quite amazing. If you like this and many of our other projects, subscribe to our channel, like us on Facebook and Instagram, and well, leave us a comment or two telling us what you think about this project.